In the eye of infinity, beauty within scorn rose to power. An ancient symbol of archival fell from grace, the iris, collapsing its primordial abode, scorching past through many dying stars, through the realm of Hithafol, light years away, and bursting through the shadows of space from its abode. It set course to plummet on a doomed planetary system, the depths, created to be destroyed, trialed against their bubble of infinity. Its star, the great beyond, has died, and the vast barren plains were set to sink into the hollow void of space, clutched by an ominous overseer of this desolate coffin, a charcoal prince with ruby rings and scorching red eyes, tears trickling down to his fingers, beholds the now descended emblem. It recorded pasts and presents to become infinity's resource for the becoming untouched. Blasting across the blackness of infinity reigns two vigilantes from the same birthplace of the Iris, Father Tyrant and Lady Fate, both making conquest with the help of many lost and tortured souls walking these grounds. The Collapse, standing 25 feet tall, jagged and morbid darkness shrouds their nervous systems, seemingly born from their realm on the other side, Yondrathal. Atop the mountain, Tyrant and Fate climbed before meeting face to face with the Charcoal Prince himself, Vysen Pavavore, surrounded by several distinguishable collapses sporting protective armory. A brave fight was fought. The blood lay waste to the castle walls, and there lay the bitter and punished prince. Before he is banished to the nothingness known as the Damned, a lightless and blank stare through Vegala's bubble, Vysen heeds a warning of beast rising once again, feeding off the light that will soon be reborn. He is henceforth denied his ground and thrown away to the Damned, not to be heard of again. Tyrant made a solemn vow to restore the great beyond, harness the Iris's full potential, and protect the depths from further peril. Centuries pass, societies were born, and 1,000 years of peace befell. The Collapsed would soon become the Onyx Colony, sported with armor and weaponry forged from Purgaprime Castle, and harnessing arcane-like power. They are sent to the borderline to draw energy from their beloved star, which in turn was harnessed to control their next hosts on the other side of Hithafol's realm, on their connected planet called Nadoria. But 1,000 years later, the foreboded myth became a reality. Dark matter of sentience swooped from the rip in space. Paradigm worms came to suck the life dry from the depths to grow stronger, become many beasts in unison before becoming its ultimate form, the Motho Hive. An abomination colonized of these paradigm worms in their fullest form, it became an unfathomable threat to all. Tyrant and Fate escorted several Onyx Colony soldiers accompanied by their elites to battle this new threat to their world. Many were hoarded off from the Bipolesian, Anxosax, and Claustronoctus to be met with the dreaded Grief Worm before coming face to face with the dominant Titan swarming these soldiers of war. It was simply too powerful, undefeatable. The Motho Hive thwarts the army with might and tenacity. Alas, they had fallen. They were banished to the Damned, where the all-too-familiar Charcoal Prince would once again find themselves alongside Tyrant. It seemed the myth was true, and all, especially the Damned, were terrified. A deal was made to revive the army in hopes of combating this unholy monstrosity again. But a condition was made. When the mightiest falls, Tyrant and Fate's firstborn, is to be banished to the damned immediately, with no compromise. Fates were sealed, and hands were shaken. The talisman bestowed to Tyrant reignites the flame inside our now risen army, prepared to fight again. The Motho Hive shows no mercy as it slashes their king and queen, drawing blood. Fatal wounds were drawn, but what became of this was to make the grandest legend in tale. The fusion of Vegalian blood with dark matter created surrogacy for an egg that would be hatched, landing atop the crimson mountains they walked upon. The Motho Hive was weakened, and the soldiers gathered the remains to be locked away in a stronghold prison called the Encrypt. The egg was taken by Tyrant and Fate as they wait for it to hatch. And so, this journey's behemoth legend ascended from the egg. It was written, the Goliath was born, an amalgamation of Vegalian anatomy forged by skin of dark matter, beholding the strongest bone structure known to mankind. Goliath spent the rest of his years finding his place, being taught melee combat, growing his strength until he became too much for the colony. He simply could not fit in with a kind that differed from his own. Perceived as a monster. 1,000 years pass since his birth, and the depths once again reaches the edge of their galaxy's entire bubble. A wormhole opened from the damned, reining in dozens of gargoyle spirits in all shapes and sizes, sworn to proclaim all with their first invasion. The Havoc Soldiers descended down on the depths to swallow it whole and destroy every living spirit. They, however, were no match for their greatest hero, Goliath, who fought valiantly against all odds, banishing the Havoc Soldiers back to where they came from. They did not come without sacrifice, and a graveyard was erected to honor the fallen. Their spirits still have so much trapped. They could not make it past their land without a fulfilled purpose. Goliath stands to mourn for the fallen soldiers. Approaching from behind, Father Tyrant walks towards his firstborn with a dire purpose for him: to keep guard of the Encrypt for an eternity, and to protect the land from anything ever emerging from the gargantuan tomb. This does not best please Goliath, as this will mean he may never properly have a connection with his family ever again. Goliath pleads for reason, his pleas falling on deaf ears as he is warned there is much more to learn about the struggle that befell this world. Tyrant harnessed the power of the Iris's all-knowing archival, strikes his hand down on Goliath's head, and sends him through a journey of memories untold. This is the story of those memories.